Welcome to Proudly Said, where we bring bold voices and real stories together. I'm John Highland, Scouse, queer, and still trying to make sense of it all. And this space is for the stuff we don't always say out loud, though we probably should. Let's get into it. Hey everyone, welcome to Proudly Said, the LGBTQ plus podcast with a bit of a Scouse twist, where we have bold stories, real voices. It's meant to be the other way around, but you get the picture. We're back at OMG. Thank you so much again for letting us host this here. It's fabulous to have a space I know I can come to every so often. I'm joined by someone who's not necessarily normally on front of camera.
We normally
see really funny memes with a bit of a cartoon behind it. So I'm joined today by John Bridson, who is many people know as the Butch Qween on Instagram.
That's me.
So let's just get straight into it. Like Butch Qween, what's the crack with that?
So basically, I started it about 7-8 years ago when it kind of starts off as like a collage page where I just post funny things online. And I was under the name Scouse and Gay at the time, and then...
You're not gay, are you?
Yes, apparently so. And it kind of evolved over time. I lost that page with Instagram updates and stuff, and they wouldn't let me log back into it, so I made a new page. And I seen this thing online. It was posted by Raven from Drag Race about what a Butch Qween is to be like as a person instead of a queen. And it's like how you flip between different personalities quite easily. Like you can be hyper masculine, hyper feminine, and everything in between. And I kind of felt like that fit me, so I took on the name and still going.
I can't hear the term Butch Qween without thinking about Paris is Burning. Butch Qween! Butch!
I watched
Butch
that
Qween.
after I took the name on, and then I was like, I'm hoping not like taking something that's meant solely for drag, but apparently it's both when I looked into it. So
well, I suppose it's part
thank
of
God for that.
Wider culture. Like, so I suppose what is it? Like what would you define that page as? But also like what got you into doing it?
It was again, like as I was saying, like more something to do with escapism when I was struggling with like an eating disorder. And I think anyone who gets into memes and content creation in this sort of context or platform would be lying if they didn't admit that Scousebird was a big inspiration to do it. Like what she achieved was phenomenal. So yeah, I was also inspired by her, but wanted to put my own spin on it. And it did start off as mainly like a repost page where it shared other people's content, and everyone was like, "You're actually funny. Why aren't you making your own stuff?" So I was like,
pressure.
I'll try.
Pressure. That's why I'm not doing it. Pressure.
And I think the first meme that I made where it really came into my own and came more of a content creator was a Lady Gaga meme with telephone.
Okay.
And now I can't even actually remember, but it was like Stop Calling, and it was something like about Joe playing on stereotypes and bottoms and tops and stuff like that. I'll have to dig it out and send it to you.
Actually,
so,
so was that at the time when like telephone was out, or was it just like...
I think it was a little while after. I got fully involved in content creation during COVID.
Like most of us did.
Yeah.
What else can we do?
But before that, it was more like just a hobby. I'd share other people's content that I'd find funny, like maybe guys that I found attractive, and then it kind of evolved into what it is today, which is a pop culture and occasional dick joke page.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, I think when I see, it must be the algorithm. It must be the algorithm.
It's gone a bit more dick joke at the moment.
Oh, so it's not the algorithm. It is your content.
It is my content.
I would see it's very much not making fun of the gay culture, but like, you know, making light of it.
Yeah, for me, people now, the problem with memes and the way the internet and culture's going is they tend to see memes as like constantly promoting something. Whereas me, it's more mocking stereotypes and satire instead of trying to constantly promote things and show that to people, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so it's like, I like that though. It's like a multifaceted, multi-layered approach to it, where some people will just be like, huh? You're like, no, look at it, read into it. Yeah.
And I think it in part with like the amount of like ads and stuff that are on social media. Like I don't make that much money from Butch Qween, and it is very documented if it is. Sometimes it's a hidden one, but there's a lot bigger, worse people doing it than me. But yeah, like a lot of 99% of my posts are just memes that I've made, memes that I've seen that I share. Yeah.
And it's just so just for like, I suppose context, like what's your following like on there? I'll put you on the spot there, sorry.
In what way?
I literally mean numbers.
I know numbers.
I mean numbers, not like how do they engage with you. I meant numbers.
It's 139,000 followers on Butch Qween right now.
Which is amazing, because I think in this current day and age of social media, like it's so difficult to build an audience.
Yep. It has plateaued over since the last algorithm update. It has stopped growing as much, but I do have moments here and there where there's a bit of an influx. And I think in part as well with TikTok, everyone's just used to scrolling through your For You page, and if you click on a reel now, you sort of fall into that trap with Instagram as well, which is where I mostly am.
Yeah.
So you don't really gain much followers, but you still have the engagement, which is good because, as I said, yeah, once you build it, you do kind of do it to make money from, and that's essentially what you get paid from.
So I'm just gonna ask, just because you mentioned money, that wasn't a funny comment. It's more like I'm kind of delving into like there's a bit of a demographic thing now where people just want to be social media influencers.
Yep.
Based on your like experience and knowledge, like, is it worth it unless you're ready to do some hard graft?
To make money as in what I do with memes.
Either way, I think just with an acknowledgement of what social media is,
you do need to be ready to treat it like a full-time job at the moment. It used to be able to just be treated as a hobby, and you get something that went big and you gained a following. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't hoping to make money from it one day, but it was always something just fun to do. And while I figure out life, which I'm still figuring out life.
Aren't we all? Aren't we all? You know what? You made the comment there. I thought, is that a read, cheeky bitch? So I did the whole social media thing years ago, and I think it's very different in the sense of like when I was like doing my first like YouTube thing, I think my maximum subscriber count was around 6,000, which is nothing. Like you just said, you had over 100 and what, 100 over 130?
39.
Yeah, so nearly 140,000
and
followers.
A second page on 108.
Fuck off.
Humble brag.
But back in like 2010 or something, I can't remember when I remember doing the YouTube thing. It might be a little bit later. 6,000 was a decent good.
Yeah.
It's a good enough number.
That's close to, I think, isn't 10K, or that's TikTok where you need followers from YouTube to be able to monetize it.
I have no idea.
I know TikTok's 10K.
I have no idea, and I've never looked into it. Again, I'm getting back into this just for a creative outlet.
Yeah.
But I think in the terms of social media, it was very different because, you know, it wasn't, obviously there was an algorithm, but it wasn't the same type of algorithm, and there was more suggested videos.
Constantly changes the algorithm, which is a pain.
I wonder why they do it. Like, it's like, why? Okay, it works.
Zuckerberg.
We've got... Yeah, of course. They've got
If that is his name, I probably should know.
Yeah, so you get creators get used to it. They start to make their content in response to it, and then it changes again.
Yeah.
Do you find that you've, as part of your content creation?
I think as well, because I used to purely be image based, and then these brought in videos, and it's like, it's actually easier to make memes from videos, but then we use like copyrighted stuff, but it should come under copyright. What's the term? Parody law. Because we're not saying we own it, we're making a parody joke out of it. But then they were trying to stop that, which they had backlash from.
There's a bit of backlash in the sense of because like people were being impersonated on other social media accounts, and because they were saying they were satire or parody, they weren't getting kicked off. Yeah.
So that's what I was fine. I actually knew a Britney page that lost their page because it was just all Britney content, and they were like, "Wow, this looks like a spam account, and it's all one thing." So they lost theirs, sadly.
It was a Britney fan account.
Yeah,
like it wasn't. Oh, okay. Oh, that's not nice.
Yeah. So those type of things you've got to be careful with. But as long as you mix media and you're clearly not trying to pass it off as that person, and I think what helps you as well if something does come up, as long as you've posted who you are online as well. Yeah. It's like I occasionally post drunken stories. Not occasionally, every time I'm drunk, I'm like, yeah.
On the Butch Qween account. And then you realise, that was meant to be on personal, on close friends. No, it's on the one with 140,000 followers.
I actually remember I was watching Sophia's Backset of Pride.
Yes.
And I was putting just story after story.
Oh, Liverpool, Liverpool Pride, 2018.
Oh, and that's how long I've been doing it. And I was just shouting at my phone going, Ashton, look at the camera. And it was all live on Instagram the next day. I was like, what did I do?
I love that though. The thing is, it just shows a bit of humanity though.
Yeah.
And it's like the person behind this account is actually a real person.
Yeah, I think once I started trying to tiptoe in, like I'm not fully out behind from the cartoon yet. Yeah. But once I started trying to be a bit more personable, I'm posting more of my sense of humor. It started getting more followers then. Yeah. Instead of just being a page about like other people's jokes and stuff that they've made.
Okay. So on the point you made a bit earlier where you said about, I suppose, the reason why you started doing it was a bit of a escapism outlet kind of thing. Yeah. How's it helped? Or like what? And I think it feels like it's like a process.
It helped at the time and it was good, but like you can't really say social media helps now because of
probably causes
the comments. But not to be cheesy, but as RuPaul says, just don't read the comments. And unless I'm
really difficult though.
But unless I'm in a really good state of mind, I don't. because I do like to kind of patrol them, making sure no one's getting bullied and things like that. Because ultimately, I like to think I've created a safe space on the internet for queer people, especially in countries where it's a lot harder for them. You can still see this type of content. And I just try and make sure read comments for that. But then sometimes, like, you do have people just like question your character just because you're touching on something that is largely okay, but it goes against something they believe.
Yeah. Taking a little bit of a step back though, in terms of
am I on another tangent?
No, not at all. I just mean in terms of like your process in making your content. Like, because so for me when I'm doing stuff, it's like I kind of get in the zone. I know it takes me a good few hours to that's if it's a good one, to edit stuff. So like with yourself, when you think of it, because sometimes like people can try and be funny and do a meme or make something funny, and it either you can't think of something.
Yeah.
It takes ages or whatever. So like, what's your creative process? If there is one.
Well, there's a few. So say like I just don't have anything for the day. I would be like, okay, just scroll, look through certain pages, certain models or whatever, look for something that inspires a caption and put it together from there. But if I'm doing something pop culture or culturally relevant, I would just make memes from that. And being in memes, you've got a Rolodex of like all different funny viral videos, like Tiffany Pollard, Gemma Collins. Just
I've put you on the spot now. Like, what else is there?
Shit's Creek is good to me. But yeah, so say something politically is happening or something in pop culture, they're quite easy to make. Like, I probably gained so much following off Trump alone, and now I'm scared to go to America just in case I get like detained from all the content I've made
your
from
Instagram account. Yeah. Which is you're probably on a watch list.
Probably are.
Who is this? Gay Jesus. Butch Qween is on the. I would love to see
Butch Qween, gay Jesus.
I would love to. Well, I wouldn't love to see. That sounds really bad. I would love to see whatever like mugshot they've got. Yeah. If you haven't got one of you, it's like, who's this person?
This a mugshot, and then my profile, and then they'd be like, "He's doing nothing wrong though. He's just made a joke. He's orange."
I suppose, is that something like? Just nearly at my microphone. Is that something that you're potentially like wary of though when you're making some content of potentially offending anyone?
I think for me, like, I think there's got to be a lot of thought into it, like, especially now with gender identities and stuff. I try and use gender neutral pronouns, although I use he, him. But I like to tell people anything respectable for me because I don't mind. So I try and be wary of things like that. But then I think my priorities and my beliefs align with a lot of people. So, and you're always going to offend someone.
Oh, of course.
As long as it's comedy. Nothing. Yeah. So as long as it's nothing majorly bad, most of the time I'm okay with it. And then if I think I've made something that might be a bit sketchy, I'll always ask someone first.
So it's that, like, to be fair, I this is my thing in sometimes when I'm doing worky related things, like I'll either write an email, I go, that sentence has given me pause, maybe I shouldn't say it.
So ChatGPT comes in.
Oh, don't I overuse that. It's like as creators, we shouldn't be talking about pushing it, ChatGPT, but it just makes things a lot quicker sometimes.
I use it for grammar. My grammar's okay.
Yeah, but please tell
sometimes when you're writing, I get grammar blind, I've been calling it, and then I can't correct myself.
You do say to it though, can you help me with this? Please write it in UK English.
Yes.
Because it automatically is in US English. Oh my God. Like, how many Zs do you need to change to?
Yes. And then when everybody sends it back, I always reread it. But yeah, as we were talking, I think you've always got to go back.
Did you have a thought process as we were talking?
I think we went out on another tangent. Just to go back, like, I think you've got to be wary of different cultures and different, especially on a global platform. But I don't think my belief system and morals are that different than most queer people. So
it's really interesting how you've got these thought processes and how you need to work on certain things. So obviously you mentioned at the start that you getting into this was sort of a way of dealing with your own mental health issues. I don't know if that's the correct terminology. How has that been moving forward? Like, we just mentioned something from like 2018, and that was something then you already had a bit of a following. So it's like, that's 7 years ago. It's even longer than that. So like, how's that been for you over the years?
So I started when I was joining Overeaters Anonymous, which is kind of like an addiction group for people, and it's based on AA, which all the all are. Anything to do with addiction is based on AA. So I was doing it to have something fun and a creative outlet to help me get into the swing of things with that. And then I kind of just enjoyed it and built a following off it.
Yeah.
But then I think where my mental health got worse, like everyone, it was during COVID, and it kind of just had a complete breakdown. And it was really a struggle back then because everyone was being harsher online because everyone was going through it.
Yeah.
But I found for me is I was just open about it. I would post stories, I would post posts, and I would call followers out and just saying like, we're people behind these as well, trying to entertain you largely for free.
Because people got frustrated. I
Yeah,
suppose.
and it's understandable, but I think we needed to, as every content meme page was going through, we were in like a little group chat together.
There's a meme group chat,
Yeah,
LGBT meme group chat.
Yeah,
Who's in
so it's largely American, and then there's some Canadian pages, and then there's
you,
me, and then there's 3 London pages as well, and it's all like mostly gay male and some non-binary pages.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm intrigued. What gets discussed in this group chat?
Mostly.
What have you posted today? What ideas can I steal? Can I make a UK version of what you've just done? Can I turn Trump into Bojo?
Largely, yeah. Same. Well, most of the content does revolve around a lot. When it's political, mostly American. Yeah. Because most of our following is American. But yeah, we discuss content. We discuss latest trends, how we can turn them into memes. Usually, followers who have been dicks that were just ripping into each other. That I probably shouldn't be emitting on camera.
You know what? Everyone needs an outlet. Everyone needs a safe space. And the fact that there is a group chat for meme pages to go, did you see that comment from that knobhead?
But we used to all like start replying to them as well. I was like, we can't do that anymore.
Yeah, let's not encourage pylons.
No. But yeah, so like there's it's gay lit shit. He's in London. I actually met him when I went to London for a coffee, and then there's So Homo.
Okay.
There's God is a bottom. No, God is a power bottom.
Oh, I love it.
So they're all like the UK ones that are in it.
I love that. So, but do you use that as a space as well when like, or have you got other interactions with other people? Because I just want to go back to this mental health conversation because I think it's really important, and I think it's props to you for like, you know, being upfront with it. I really appreciate you using this space to kind of talk about it. Yeah. Do you have those confidants in that kind of world? Like, because if you're using this space as in the meme world, the meme world,
it's a meme world out there.
It is a meme world. This is a memes world.
That's a page name in itself.
Oh my God, I couldn't have the time to do it. Then you need to have those, like, you know, those people who understand why you're doing it.
Yeah, we wouldn't talk about the ins and outs of our mental health, but we would open up about struggling and what aspects we were struggling with, and it's just having that relatability with other pages because to know that they're going through the same thing. I was probably more open publicly on my social medias about my mental health than they were, which I'm quite proud about.
Yeah, so you should be.
Not to sound corny, but I was just like, well, everyone's struggling, so if you can just hear another person, it might make you feel better about the day.
Well, especially if a lot of people are utilising your social pages as a way to escape their own issues, because they can get a momentary laugh, momentary whatever. That's kudos. Yeah. But then sometimes that can also feel like a big burden for yourself.
Just sometimes, like lately, someone was like saying to me, keep working on your social medias, which I am. You bring a lot of joy and a lot of laughter to people. And that's something I'm proud of. It's something I created off my own back with very little help. I've had support from other pages, but I've gone out and done it. But sometimes you need to step back and be like, well, right now it's not making me happy, and assess from there.
That's definitely the right mindset. It's one of them. This is turning into a self-help. I do think that's definitely the right mindset, because if something's no longer serving you, then don't necessarily stop it. Yeah. Just give it a breather. And let's be honest, the way the algorithm works, I think memes from months ago will be popping up on people's feeds.
I'm noticing that lately with Explore, like about 3 or 4 month old memes are coming back up. And something I posted months ago would be like getting tons of likes for some reason. I'm like, okay.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to say no.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Please follow.
Yeah, literally. So how are you now? Without sounding like Oprah. How are you now?
I'm on the up. I'm having a bit of a rough patch, but that's life. You've got to deal with it, or you get consumed with it. Not much more to say.
Well, you look fab.
Thanks.
You're coming across fab. I know.
I showered.
You know what though? That's a sign though, isn't it? Because people say, you know what, I just don't want to get out of bed, and that can turn into multiple days.
And I think sometimes that's necessary, like to even like, as they call, bed rot, because you need to process your feelings, but you do need to have a point, which I've had to learn the hard way, of being like, if I don't stop this now, it's just going to keep getting worse and worse and worse, and it's harder to come back from.
Stop what? Sorry.
Like stop bed rotting.
Oh, sorry. I think that's.
You don't have to like.
I don't stop memeing. Like, sorry.
No, I was just saying like about mental health. Like it's okay to wallow and deal with your feelings, but there needs to be a line quite soon before it
yeah.
gets too dark.
You know, it's right though. And I think if someone have got those outlets, then let them have those outlets.
Yep.
So what does the future have for Butch Qween and John?
I'm trying with my page because, as we mentioned earlier, like it is a lot of dick jokes, which is fine.
Yeah, everyone's.
I kind of want to get back to my pop culture memes and even like some political ones because I find more humor in them.
Well, I think, especially, sorry to interrupt, I think at this moment in time where this like society we live in seems to be getting darker.
Yeah.
I think politically related humor to some might think, why are you making a joke about that? This is deadly serious. Whereas others are like, you know what, good, take away the power from those
So
things.
I don't really make jokes about policies because, again, that goes back to where, like, crossing certain lines, creating boundaries. And they also draw a lot of negative attention towards me from their supporters online.
Of course.
I've got to think about that. But I'm completely fine with attacking Trump. I don't like him. He's a horrible, vile human being.
He is a walking, talking meme.
He makes it so easy.
Hasn't he recently said, someone asked him, like, who would you like to be the next pope? And he said something along the lines of, it's a shame it can't be me. I'm sure that it might be completely saying the wrong thing, but something has definitely gone around where it's come out that he has said, like, he wish he could be pope.
God, that man just thinks he's just a high school bully that just got too much power.
Yeah,
that's what the vibe I got.
Yeah, and but also follows where he thinks he's going to get the kudos.
Yeah,
he follows. Yeah, he's a sheep.
Yep,
he thinks he's the lead sheep.
I seen something that online that I don't know if this is okay to say on a podcast or not. You'll have to cut it out if it's not. That there's a theory that he's Melania's sub bitch.
I'm not going to get into that. I think that's for a different podcast.
That's why I was like, I'll mention it and leave it up to you.
I'll leave it in, but yeah, I won't. I think that's for I'm not going to go into that.
Like, it was just, I'm not going to go too deep into it, but what I was reading, it was like, you know, that he won't be seen holding hands with her. She can't just shoot him away. It's like a humiliation thing that you think he's into with it. And I was just like,
I don't need this image in my head, John. Please don't do this.
I apologize.
I can get
sorry, viewers.
I can get away with I can get away with the clock and like she's like literally belittling him, like he's going for a kiss and she's like pulls away her cheek.
I didn't ask you to get a visual.
You can't help it when you're saying things. Bloody hellfire. But yeah, okay. What's next for you? How's tricks with you? Because we know like it is a difficult thing when you would love for the stuff you're doing as a passion project to be your job. Hello. But it's still a passion project.
Yeah. So right now, eventually, I don't know, it might become a job, but right now I'm still needing to find other things to support it.
Yeah.
But as in regards to content, I think Butch Qween will always say a meme page, but I'm trying to get back to more my pop culture memes, like some political. Like whenever there's new music out, I used to make memes from those videos as well.
Okay.
Like something funny that even if it happens on Big Brother, things like that, that's more my taste of content. And I'm trying to be more of a content creator of myself as well, which...
So what type of content?
I like the idea of like vlogging, but more from like a Scouse humorous point of view.
So okay, so I need to get into this right now. So just because you've mentioned it, when you say vlogging, right, what do you mean? And let me like finish. So like, there's from my YouTube days, which you've already established was a long time ago. There was vlog reference two things. So I think most people would say the vlog was the video blog where people done like their day. And it's like snippets from the day talking about it. Some people had some bloody balls, like walking around, constantly filming themselves, like in the middle of everywhere.
I think I can do that.
But then there's the other side of it, which is what I did, which is where you talk to camera about specific issues. And basically when I did it, is we had the jump cut. So you'd have like, you'd say a bit where you're sat. Then you'd move there and say another little bit. Then you say that and you did intercut. So like your sentence is all over the place. What do you mean by vlog?
I think I like the idea of like, you know, going places, uploading a video about it, giving my spin on it, my sense of humor, as well as making skits as well. And yeah, don't really know what to say. It's very early days with my TikTok and I'm still trying to decide what I want to do with it.
And it's going to go, so it's going to be through TikTok.
Yeah, well, it will be posted on Instagram, but I'm thinking like...
Yeah, the TikTok reel.
TikTok video. I probably should know what they call it over there. But yeah, that type of format.
I don't know. I don't know what the format is, but no, yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, okay. I like that though. And so, okay. So it's like a mixture of skits and then like, I wouldn't say reviews.
Everyone says like pick a niche and I don't want to just pick a niche. which might be spiting myself, but
I don't think it's the same.
humans are multifaceted people. Like, I want to do like interior design when I move. I want to like video myself drunk.
When we talk, okay, so this is again, I'm totally out the world of social media content creation in that respect as I used to be. But I think there's a crossover in what people think what content should be.
Yeah.
So we talk about like what's your audience or what's your brand, what's your visual, and something. Okay, the channel's got to be not that. Do we call them TikTok channels? TikTok pages?
I think
Yeah,
it's
so
a TikTok page.
Not the same anymore, is it? Jesus. YouTube channels. There's meant to be like a television channel. My schedule is I post videos at 6 o'clock every Wednesday. TikTok every 3 hours.
Yeah.
That's I'm not going to get into it. But yeah, so it's like what's the type of content. So like on some TikTokers are known as beauty TikTokers. Some TikTokers are food reviewers. That's fine, but also you could be the brand. So
that's what I wanted to be, like a queer lifestyle page. That's me.
So that can be anything.
Covers, anything. Like, I don't think you should just have to pigeonhole yourself into one thing because people love everything.
Yeah, it's like I think that's where my brain would go. Some would argue otherwise. Pick your niche and stick to it.
Yeah,
but I think
a little crochet video. I haven't brought that up yet.
I thought that was a joke at first. Genuinely thought that was a joke.
I crochet.
But to be fair though, I heard that's really, really like calming and
it is. I actually learned when I was in Overeaters Anonymous to like as a meditative thing, because one of the issues you have with an addiction, whether it's food or anything, is you hyperfixate on something. So I would pick it up because you kind of got to concentrate on what you're doing, so it eases your mind into it, and you start counting, and then you're like, oh, that thought's nearly gone.
I like that though.
Yeah.
I might have to start crocheting.
If you need a teacher. I know someone because I'm not good at it.
Well, on that note, I'm just conscious. I'm conscious of time because we've been on half an hour. I do this little segment. It's not even a segment. It's just the end of the flipping podcast, where I put the person on the spot. And
I haven't been already.
Multiple times. Scout Spotlight. So it's that idea of if you can think of one thing, one person, one anything, and I mean anything, and it makes you think Liverpool, like what would that be and why?
As in something Scouse that's queer?
However you want to interpret it. If you could think of something and you go, that's how I know Liverpool.
I don't really want to be upsetting or anything, but my mind, as you was like, something that's queer and embodies Liverpool, went straight to the Viv.
You know what's interesting, right? You're like,
I feel like everyone's going to say that.
You were not the first, which is a testament to Viv.
Yeah.
It might also be a timeline, because obviously when I'm recording these, but I think it's a testament to who the character of the Vivian was.
Yeah. I would never say I was friends with Vivian. I knew her from like, she was a huge part of my coming out and my like queer growth as a person.
Queer awakening.
Yeah. Like, she was always in the Superstar boudoir. Back then we called it the boudoir. I think everyone calls it the Superstar now.
Do they? I thought it was the
boudoir. Youths.
Oh.
Like, she was always just like so friendly and stuff, and she was a big part of the queer scene in Liverpool. And she embodied Scouse culture, but made it accessible globally.
Yeah, I think so. I think I said this. I can't remember if it was at the vigil or if it was on some. I can't. I
went to the vigil.
It. Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so proud of that. That vigil was amazing. But I think what I said was like, I think when people think of Liverpool, they think of the Beatles. They think of, we're a music city.
Yeah.
And Viv was amazing with music in the greatest of things. But I think she brought Liverpool as a city to a different audience and a different demographic.
And she challenged the stereotypes of what we are viewed as a city as well, because in the United Kingdom as a whole, we're viewed as like scruffy, scally, or scoundrels or whatever, and people from Liverpool know we're not that.
Yeah.
And she was always looked expensive, always looked put together, but she was funny, she was professional. Whereas like anytime there's been a reality TV show around Liverpool, it's always made us look a bit trashy. So she made it look good.
It's like a focus on...
Similar with Danny Beard as well.
I think the difference between... I'm not going to make a comparison with Vivian and
I'm not
Danny
saying
Beard.
they're the same, but I know he's from Liverpool. The Queen's from Liverpool, moved to Manchester.
So no, and this is the thing is, I mean, with Vivian, I know the Vivian was born here. Danny, I couldn't say for certain without speaking to him that if Danny Beard started here or if it was completely as a Manchester Queen. I'm not sure.
I think he started here. Because I remember going to Canal Street and I was like, recognized them, but I can't fully remember where I'd see him.
I'll be sure to ask him. But with Vivian, it was very much like she never forgot. Like obviously, she's from North Wales, Colwyn Bay, etc. But the Vivian was a Scouse queen, and very much to the point where she's like, and kept bringing it back.
And I think it was the first time I realized one of the few positive things about the show. I was watching the Vivian on her season, and I was just like, until this, she was just in a DJ booth, and now she's getting to show her full potential.
Yeah.
And it was I felt kind of proud.
Yeah. I think a lot of Liverpool did, you know. I think, and then you're right, because obviously she went away and did their stint in Gran Canaria, and I think her words were like, she put it into her craft, not necessarily like, because she could turn her look like we don't know what. One
of the best drag queens in the UK, looking wise.
Yeah, definitely honed her craft in terms of that wider performance element in Gran Canaria, because we know she can perform. But like, I don't know, did you go to Gran Canaria?
When she was there.
When she was there. So I went once when she was there. I mean, I've only been to Gran Canaria twice, and you could see the work, because some of the sketch numbers she was doing, like I wouldn't have visualized her doing it on the stage in Boudoir. But yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
But I don't know whether it's got time, but there was a funny story of how I got to know the Vivian on a personable level. Like, I don't think we're friends, but she did make you feel like she'd known you for years when she spoke to you. And it was on a work night out in the Boudoir, and I think it was like a Tuesday or Wednesday, and I got really drunk, went on the stage and twisted my ankle.
Here? When you come to like Gay Town or in a gay kind of thingy event,
I tend to fall.
Put things on Instagram story lives of the wrong account.
Yes. So I got on the stage and twisted my ankle, and I was just sat on the edge of the stage taking my shoe off. And the Vivian, I don't remember this, but all my mates were telling me the next day when the Viv was like on the mic going, "Come on, your mates get you off the fucking stage," and taking the piss, but in a funny way. Like, she has a very flippant sense of humor, like most Scouse people do.
Yeah.
But ever since then, she's always come up to me and was like, acted like she knew me for years. She was like, "How are you doing? You have a good night?" And even like other friends I've come up with were like, "Oh, do you know the Viv?"
And she's like,
I was like, "Well, just wait until you hear how."
A lot of people like say that about her. Like, she'll have the time of day for anyone, and she'll remember.
I could have just been a drunk person that twisted my ankle, but she remembered me. She would always come and talk to me.
Yeah, no, it's lovely. And as I say, it's a testament to her character. I think, like, on that note, that's just a nice note to end on, I think, because I think going through like your journey, a combination of Butch Qween, where it's come from, what you want it to be, your own mental health battles, if you allow me to say, and then talking about a positive of just an experience and how, like, you know, from a Scouse perspective,
it wasn't positive for my ankle.
That one experience wasn't. How do you remember the Viv? Well, she took the piss on me when I broke my ankle. I think that's a nice point to like kind of bring this episode to a close. So I think first and foremost, immediately, like, is there anything you want to plug or anything like that? Where can people find you on social media?
I'm just the Butch Qween, but Queen with a W, because you was taken.
So that's the Butch Qween.
Yeah, all one word. And then my personal pages, which I'll be posting more on, it's Johnny B.
And is that both on TikTok and Instagram?
TikTok and Instagram, yeah.
Fabulous. That's amazing. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you kind of like giving me that story. It was nice, and there was a lot of laughter.
I wasn't sure whether I was going to share it, but I was just like, go on, it's nice.
Yeah, and you know what? It was presented in a really nice way, so I do really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. This has been Proudly Said, LGBTQ plus podcast with a bit of a Scouse twist, bringing you bold stories, real voices. Thank you again to ONG for hosting us. Check you next time. You've been listening to Proudly Said. If it meant something to you, pass it on. If it didn't, maybe it will one day. Either way, stay kind, stay loud, and stay proud.